What's good, YouTube? How you doing? It's your man Ronan, and here's the positive side of problem solving. Now, it is in my personal opinion that problem solving is the keystone to the four P's. We're talking about provision, protection, and creation. But problem solving, if you don't have this, none of this matters. None of the four P's matter. But we're going to talk about it through the definition again. So, his ability to think in a linear and analytical fashion to be able to dissect and resolve issues immediately. So, I'm going to use myself for example. I'm often prone to procrastination. A lot of times, my mind gets clouded with a lot of thoughts. No shame to being a dreamer and being an ambivert, just always in my head, among other things. I had to use many tools to my disposal, mainly my phone with reminders to keep me on point, keep me on schedule, to maintain system, order, and structure. I have a personal trainer to help me do things right, to get the maximum benefit of my workouts, to keep me on point as far as my diet, to unleash a lot of mental stressors in a constructive fashion. We talk about things that, pushing each other with the seeds of greatness. And that's one of the many ways you can problem solve. Now, we could choose to sit here and piss and moan and complain about things, but the most important things we need to use is our foresight and our intuition. We need to surround ourselves with people who will help teach us how to follow solid examples in order to be exemplary leaders in our respective means and examples. I learned this in the military, where I started off as a recruit and had to earn my place as a private. See, the thing is, like about problem solving, you have to earn your stripes. We talk about the hero's journey many times over, but the thing is, are you willing to face the villain within yourself? This is one of the many things as men that separates us from men versus maggles. As men, we seek adversity. We see the problems that are coming to us. As black men, you can step outside, you're going to run into a whole heap of problems. Not to put that on anybody, but let's just be honest, it is what it is. The thing is, we have to have a clear mind and a heart. When everything goes to shit, we have to be those pillars of influence. Like, you know what? Here's the problem. This is what we're going to do. You go here, we do this, we take care of our supplies, we do this. And this goes into the further definition. His problem solving saves time, minimizes waste of energy, money, and etc. Now, with that, this is why we make it a point to share information. There are other people that know more things than you do. I benefited from us talking about going on this Charlotte trip 2 weeks ago. That was many examples of problem solving. We had a problem. We were exhausted creatively in many ways because, again, we're sitting there just hammering out things, hammering out content and whatnot. It got to a point where we started feeling the fumes of creativity. So we talked about the problem, which was what we were dealing with. So we looked for solutions and like, you know what? We should go to Vegas. But then we found out that was kind of like a monetary stretch. So things happened to benefit us to where we saw like, you know what? Let's go to Charlotte. So we pulled our resources out. We set everything in motion. And you know what? It turned out to be better than we expected. We was able to get that creative recharge. We were able to learn more about each other, strengthen the bond within us. We were able to break the fourth wall, which you're not supposed to do in this space, but we didn't care. And we saw more benefit in what we were doing versus the negatives. And in many recent years, I haven't laughed that hard and enjoyed my time there. Also, my time there, I wasn't prone to the anger fits I'm usually hit with at random. I didn't have those things with tinnitus as much. I was able to get a lot of stuff off my chest as well as my peers. That's the example of problem solving done right. See, unlike the Maggle, if you're going to talk about it, you got to be about it. You got to address these things in their proper fashion. Sometimes it's smart to sit back and let certain things manifest so you can get it correctly taken care of. See, again, it's like when it comes to problem solving, you got to be, and sometimes you got to be proactive, and sometimes you have to be proactive as far as your thoughts and, like, you know, how you maneuver. Get all the information you need and then be 110% that when you go hard into it. See, me, I've heard it's black and white with me. It's all or nothing. That may seem extreme to others, but this is how I roll, you know, aside from me being a Scorpio and a Sigma, you know, people define me as, which I accept. We talk about learning yourself, how you process information, knowing your language, how you receive communication, how you exude it, and mastering those things and being around people who do the same thing with you. You'd be surprised how many doors that opens, not just physically or monetarily, but in many other ways. You start learning about yourself. Most times we fail to address the fact that we are the problem. Many times over, we speak ill about ourselves or our capabilities. And we like to get on here online or get around people in our goofy circles and basically burden them with our bullshit. When really sometimes you need to sit on down or sit in front of somebody, as far as like a therapist or a trusted peer or peers, and like seek counsel from them. Like, you know what should I do about this situation, if the situation is above your reasoning at the time? Because I know when I get pissed off, I'm not thinking clearly in a positive fashion. I'm either set on kill, or I'm worried about finding whatever psychological damage I can inflict, you know, while I'm trying to figure this thing out. So the thing is, if I have voices or reasons that are in my disposal, we need to make use of them. This is a thing where we can't allow ourselves to be hamstrung by what's going on out here in the world. If be it family members, excuse me, women we deal with, or if associates come about us, we have to execute the 4 T's. Are they worth our time? Are they worth the toll? If they're not either worth these two, they damn sure ain't worth the trouble. And if their threat level is high, what is the point? This is where we protect ourselves. When it comes to problem solving, a lot of times we got to use this head. We have to keep this head in check. See, on this side of the board, you start looking at always despise the free lunch. There are plenty of times where there have been women who had that fire monkey. Okay, let's just be blunt. But the thing was, she presented more problems than benefits. And many times we have to walk away. I get why a lot of brothers are not addressing certain women or dealing with them, because again, if you see a problem head on, you'd be an outright idiot to go out there and forego everything just to appease her, when she can't even appease herself. When we talk about black male agency, you talk about adding bass to your voice, your issues, your concerns in a constructive manner to where you become treated like a human being. You start being reciprocated as far as like appreciation, reciprocity, support, you know, dealing with the issues we deal with. We talk about the report card. This is what I'm bringing up again. The thing is, once we establish black male agency, once we start addressing a lot of these issues, we can basically be a whole new people within a generation or two. As problem solvers, we intentionally call ourselves the curse breakers. We can either be the first millionaire out of our family, the first billionaire in our family, the first one to basically pass some things down to our peers, first one to actually start a constructive legacy, the first one to redeem the family name that has been cursed, if not hundreds of years, but maybe thousands. The problem solving is look into the heart of everything, especially ourselves, seeing what's in front of us and be willing to address it and not being afraid to fail, because courage is birthed in the midst of fear. And sometimes you got to do some things scared. I never knew I was going to be at this point. Before November, I was trying to figure out what am I going to do. I was in a job that I hated. I was basically getting injured. Out of 7 months, I went to physical rehab 5 times. I had a sore ankle that I had to deal with, and I was limping around, but doing the work, like tedious work that was pissing me off. I got to the point where I nearly fought an area manager because he thought he could talk to me any kind of way, and I was at the point like, you know what, I'm gonna solve this problem. But at the time, I wasn't thinking in a constructive way. So in speaking to a feminine warrior that I hold dear, shout out to the Crimson Cure, she led me over here to this. And when I started taking this, this helped open the doors to a lot of things. It wasn't just for the physicality part. I mean, the libido part. That's awesome. You know, we'll talk about that in the next 2 videos dealing with procreation. But the thing was, the first thing I felt was my neurons firing. So I tested it and used 2 long lists of things I put off for a good minute. I blazed through those 2 lists. Then the fact is, with this, I deal with sleep apnea. I was able to get the best sleep I had in years. That's why I rely on this. And I'm not a proud pill taker because I can't swallow pills. Thankfully, it's a capsule where I can break it open, put it in some water, take it, drink it the first thing in the morning, take a shower, let it work its magic, and I go proceed and do my thing. It helped me with the workouts, providing me with strength to where we were doing pyramids with my personal trainer, and he let me know later that I was able to deadlift one good time 315 pounds, and I weigh 215 right now. So the thing is, you start pushing yourself. You start getting that confidence like, you know what? If I can solve this, what else can I solve? If you have some chick who's always calling you on the phone, the only time, or people who call you on the phone only when you can benefit them or they can put you in a deficit somehow, you can easily solve that problem. I ain't got it, even if you do have it. You start reevaluating who to have with you and what to say around certain people. There's some people who are bone carriers on and offline. And the thing is, like, if they're that comfortable bringing that bullshit to your door, you got to question yourself. First of all, why are you comfortable bringing me this nonsense? And 2, you can never dismiss the fact that they're bringing bones about you to the other people. This is where you cut off your subscription to Bullshit Illustrated. So I want to say in closing, when it comes to A game, this is more than just a libido pill. This helps me in the gym. This helps me conduct my business in a constructive fashion where I can put forth my energy to when I quit FedEx and they called me 3 times to come back to that cardboard box plantation. I was confident enough to put my energy into doing Uber, which I needed the flexibility to clear my head and actually be a better version of myself. I didn't really go there for the pay. I needed to save my mental clarity and sanity. Because if I stayed in that place and stayed complained and bitched about it the whole time, you probably would have read about me in the newspaper. But again, that's the thing about problem solving. It's a team sport most times. But most cases, you have to solve the problem within the reflection of your mirror. Because a lot of stuff is internal. And I'll go into how going to the chiropractor is part of my problem solving. Because in physical therapy, yeah, it did something that was okay. They give you a few pills and keep you and slap you on the ass, keep you pushing. I say that figuratively. But when it comes to a chiropractor, shout out to Dr. Jermaine Ware, and he's a holistic chiropractor. And I'm gonna do a video on that, as far as the process and how that's going, because again, it's like it helped. I think it was a neurological reset, which I'll go into in the video coming, and it helped relieve a lot of the tension, like you've seen in the videos where they do the chair where they pop your neck and all that stuff. It sounds a lot worse than it actually feels. And that's the thing that we need to do as far as men, especially our health. We need to address these things, to get ourselves right. We have to make our needs and concerns a priority. That helps with the problem solving. Because again, if you're worrying about waiting for a cosign for the rest of these hyenas and these maggots out here, that's basically you're sitting on death watch. So a salute to A-Game family, A-Game Nation. I want to put this out there because I wasn't satisfied with the original video I put up for this. But this is what I'm submitting to you as far as problem solving. Be a curse breaker. Because the answers within can settle a lot of things you're dealing with without, beyond you. So much love to you guys. And as always, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. Peace.